Welcome back to IronFury plays Sonic the Hedgehog 2 Heroes. It's time for what we've all been waiting for. We're going after the special stages. And I am not going to do anything other than edit, to these special stages. You don't need to see me actually play the game again.
Yeah, I mean, the video is already fairly long as it is. No sense dragging it out even longer.
Yeah, exactly. So, when you enter a special stage, first off, you get this bitchin'-ass music, which is iconic at this point. Then, you get put into a half-pipe, where you have to collect rings and avoid bombs, and if you collect enough rings, you get to move on to the next phase, and eventually make your way to the Chaos Emerald.
Yep.
Now, unfortunately, I didn't get to do what I wanted to do. I wanted to show off that you can actually collect all 7 Chaos Emeralds within the first zone. But I unfortunately missed a checkpoint, and what are you gonna do? But I did get the first 6.
Which is still pretty impressive.
Yes, indeed. Now, I guess, there's not really a whole lot to talk about until we get to the later stages themselves. I mean, at this point, what you see is what you get. So, I guess we can have a mini discussion on the Sonic series in general. Travis, what is your experience with the series overall?
Well, mainly the Genesis games, like... I mean, I've obviously played the original 3. I mean, good God, I don't know anyone who hasn't at this point. Like...
You'd be surprised.
Oh, God. Yeah. I mean...
Nowadays, anyway.
Well, yeah. I'd have to say that my favorite, shocker, would probably be Sonic 3 and Knuckles. If only because it has that save function, and because I'm better at the special stages in that game compared to I am in these ones. Like, I don't think I've ever gotten all 7 Chaos Emeralds in Sonic 2, like, ever.
Yeah. Something I should point out real quick, now that I just noticed, is that in the original Sonic 2, when you complete a checkpoint, you start back out at 0 for rings. But in this ROM hack, you actually keep all the rings you collected before going into that checkpoint.
And unless I'm mistaken, the rings in the stage also were set too, so you just recollect them.
Yes, exactly, which means you could rack up a huge ring bonus and collect a lot of extra lives for that. Because in Sonic, the first 200 rings will get you 2 lives. So 100 rings get you 1, then 200 gets you the next one. After that, though, they no longer get you lives.
Probably to prevent any crazy exploits.
Probably, since they put more rings in these games than they put coins in Mario games.
Oh God. I mean, I think I have played and more or less beaten Sonic Spinball, which, I mean, the controls when you're not playing as a pinball are kind of awkward and stilted and stuff, but overall I still think it was a good game.
It's a solid game, but the problem is, I mean, obviously in the pinball applies, there is just as much luck as there is skill.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just kind of have to hope that you get the right trajectory, and that can obviously increase or shorten the length of your playtime. But, the problem with Sonic Spinball is, when you first start the game, obviously you have the normal platformer kind of thing where you gotta run to the side or whatever. Those controls are chunky as hell, to the point that you move about as slow as molasses. So, those controls are borked. Then the actual pinball controls aren't that great either, in terms of, like, momentum and stuff.
Yeah.
So you're essentially having 2 playstyles that both don't work too great. But don't get me wrong, I love Sonic Spinball. I LP'd that on the channel.
Yeah, I remember.
But,
I mean, I never had a Sega Saturn, so I don't think I've ever played any of those games. But, I mean...
Well, there's only one. Well, actually, no, technically there's 2. Sonic 3D Blast was ported to the Sega Saturn, and then, of course, there was Sonic R, which was garbage.
Yeah. Speaking of Sonic 3D Blast, I think I have played a fair amount of that game. I personally don't care for it.
I think it's actually pretty solid. It's not perfect by any stretch. In fact, I would even say it's a flawed game, but I think it's not as bad as some of the really bad Sonic games.
Yeah. I know that the most infamous of those would probably be, Sonic the Hedgehog 2006 for quite a number of reasons.
Sonic Labyrinth.
Oh, God. I mean, I know Yahtzee from Zero Punctuation apparently didn't care much for Sonic, what was it? Crap, what was that game? It was the one where you play as a Hedgehog or whatever. Sonic Unleashed. Yeah, that's the one.
That game, I've never played the full game of, but from what I've seen, it's not bad. It's one of those things where, if you can get past the concept of the Hedgehog, it's a halfway enjoyable game.
I mean, the fact that it also has what looks like some RPG elements in it actually does make it look at least a tad fun.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I'm also I've also played a Sonic Adventure, which I think, I mean, graphics that haven't aged well aside, like the lip movements, man, I think it's actually a pretty fun game.
I actually will say that Sonic Adventure, both in terms of graphics and gameplay, has not aged well.
Yeah.
It has not aged well. I would say half of the game is enjoyable, and the other half is god-awful.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I think Sonic's stages are pretty fun, in my opinion.
Sonic's controls, some people say they're the best Sonic has ever controlled. I disagree. I think it's too spastic for my liking. Obviously, of course, you have the Knuckles stages, which are the emerald hunting.
Of course. Which
is give or take, you know, that's just purely dependent on your preferences. Amy's playstyle is god-awful.
Oh, God. Yeah, I mean, it just seems weird that I mean, you've got a hammer. It's like, can't you not smack that bot who's trying to kidnap you in?
I actually like Gamma.
Yeah, me too.
I'm one of the few people that does. I actually like the Gamma playstyle, and of course, there's Big the Cat.
Yeah.
But, I think Sonic Adventure 2 is overall aged better.
Yeah. I actually have that for the GameCube, and I think I've actually gotten all 180 emblems. I never did manage to get, I think they're called Chaos Chows or whatever they're called, but yeah.
I don't like Sonic Heroes.
Which is kind of ironic considering the name of this ROM hack.
Yeah, I like the concept. I really do like the Heroes concept. I think on paper it's a good idea, but I think the actual execution was pretty lame.
Yeah. I mean, I've beaten the game, and I basically put it in line with games like the Star Fox Dinosaur Planet, excuse me, a sequel, in that it kind of strikes me as a decent game, kind of forgettable.
It's mediocre.
Yeah.
It's a mediocre game.
Yeah.
I unfortunately had the PS2 version of Sonic Heroes, which was actually considered the worst version.
Oh, God.
From a technical standpoint. There was a lot of bugs, a lot of, I think frame rate issues as well.
I mean, I rented it for a weekend or two, like, on my GameCube. I think I still have the save file on one of my memory cards. Yeah, wouldn't get again.
Yeah. I mean, as far as other Sonic games go, I actually like the Sonic Advance game.
Oh, I have the first one of those. That's a blast.
Yeah, the first one. I think the first Sonic Advance, would have easily been a good contender as Sonic 4.
Yeah, that gets no arguments for me. I mean, if only they'd let you, like, you know, get the Chaos Emeralds, like, and play as Super Sonic or what have you, the way they let you do in this one.
They let you get the Chaos Emeralds, but unfortunately, that only unlocks the final level where you play as Super Sonic. You don't get to just play as Super Sonic in random stages.
Yeah. And as much as I love Majora's Mask, they kind of pulled something similar to that, how you get the Fierce Deity Mask. Oh, by the way, you can only use it in boss rooms.
To be fair, I don't think Fierce Deity would work in... I think with the playstyle of Fierce Deity, it wouldn't work for the overall world map.
Yeah, I mean, that is a good point. And that probably would have been a programming nightmare, since, I mean, I think that game already had to use that expansion pack anyways. Yeah. So, yeah, memory limitations and all that.
Anyway, I guess we could talk about these special stages now, kinda.
Yeah, I guess.
As you can see, the further you go down, the more bombs they add.
Yeah.
The rings end up going in a lot more of a scattered kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
The momentum definitely picks up. You get a lot more turns, which can, especially with the way your vision is for this, it can really throw you off.
Oh, yeah.
I love this, though. I love these, like, circle patterns.
I never much cared for them, but... Yeah, like I said, I'm a total scrub at these things. the special stages in this game anyways, so yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I'll admit that the special stages, like in Sonic and Knuckles, those latter ones tend to get completely ridiculous.
I hate the Sonic 3 and Knuckles special stages.
Oh, God.
I hate them. Anyway, now we're on actually stage 6. I would say that this is probably legit one of the more difficult ones, which makes sense.
Yeah.
In some ways, I would even say it might be harder than the final one.
Since, spoiler alert, the last one actually has some more fairly predictableness to it, but we'll get there when we get there.
Yeah. This one, there's a lot of, like, running to the side and a lot of, like, turns and stuff that throw you off. And then there's this.
Yeah.
Where you gotta follow the line and you gotta be super fast. But the problem is, with this, you have 3 people behind, you have, 2 people behind you. And that basically increases your hitbox. If they collect rings, that means they're also vulnerable to being hit by bombs. And if they get hit by bombs, you lose those rings. So, that's what makes this more difficult.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then you have a situation like this where you have to have them collect the rings in order for you to get as many as you can.
Although, to be fair, from what I recall, it sounds like the more of these characters you have, like, the more rings you have to collect. Like, if it's just Sonic, I'm told that you don't have to collect as many rings, which is always a plus.
That's in the original game.
Yeah.
That's in the original game. I don't know if that's the same here. I'd imagine it would be, but I don't necessarily know if having all 3 characters is more rings than having only 2 characters.
Yeah. By the way, fun fact, when I used to play these special stages and jump through those hoops of bombs, I would actually occasionally jump up and hit the top bomb overshooting it. Like I said,
I could see that happening.
I mean, like I said, I'm a scrub. Yeah.
Only 11 more rings to go, now 4. And there we go. As long as we don't fuck up, we're good. We're good.
Nice.
Now, that was the 6th Chaos Emerald, which means, unfortunately, there are no more Chaos Emeralds that I collect in Emerald Hill. Fast forward. Once this goes by. Fast forward to Chemical Plant Act 2. We're now at the final Chaos Emerald.
And as common for these special stages, it looks like the last one has this, like, really intimidating color palette to it, like gold and silver or something.
Yeah. Now, with this one, you have to keep jumping from side to side, like this. And eventually, they will start throwing things to throw you off, like this, for example. Now, you gotta stay twice, for 2 sets. Then you gotta jump over. And they start throwing more rings on turns as well.
Yeah.
And now we're back to just back and forth, back and forth. Thankfully, about these bonus stages, there's never a point where you have to collect every single ring to the exact number. They always give you the leeway of being able to miss a few.
And thank goodness for that. Whew.
These stages would be so much harder if you had to be exact.
Yeah, at that point, I wouldn't see any, I wouldn't see any issue with save scumming at that point. At that point, it becomes a design issue.
Yeah, and at this point, this is where I would say why I like these special stages more than Sonic 3. Because with Sonic 3, you don't get that kind of leeway.
Yeah, that is a good point.
And now it's random.
Oh my god! Holy crap! Yeah, that is borderline cruel.
Actually, this is easy.
Well, yeah, true.
But now it's random as bombs.
Oh, that's actually kind of annoying. Yeah. Ah.
And so many turns that you just get thrown off. But we have to collect 190 rings. So we're actually doing pretty good.
I mean, I don't know what an idea of, good progression in this part of the stage is, so I'm just gonna take your word for it.
But look how many rings we're getting now just thrown our way.
Yeah, true.
It's actually slowing the game down.
Oh, wow.
And look, we got them all.
Ooh, pretty. Nice!
The final Chaos Dentine.
Emerald.
No, seriously, it looks like Dentine Ice.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it kind of does.
They all look like fucking Jolly Ranchers. Anyway, we now got all the Chaos Emeralds. We have rings. Now we're Team Super. And yes, I do mean Team Super, because we can basically all have the power. Sonic gets like a mini homing attack. It's not quite homing, but he's faster, he jumps higher. Tails flies faster, Knuckles climbs faster. This segment right here, now that we have Super Knuckles, this should not be a problem. Come on, okay, if you would actually grab the fucking wall. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh my god, why did I have an easier time with this with the regular team?
I think it's because he's climbing too fast, so you keep bumping up against those things and it throws you off.
Anyway, watch now. Let's try and go forward. Let's keep going.
Whee!
What the fuck?
I think the game
We're trapped.
And I think the game just glitched on us.
Knuckles broke the game and Tails flew in, so we're trapped.
Oh, crap.
We can't get out.
Oh, dears.
Knuckles breaks the fucking game. There's no way out. So on to the Death Egg Zone. We have all the Chaos Emeralds now. And by the way, I actually did replay through this entire game. So, I had to play through this twice. You can thank me.
Much thanks.
And I have a much better run this time around. Against Silver Sonic here.
Dang, you ain't kidding. You destroyed him.
The boss for this, the boss is the exact same. Everything about this is the exact same. So we just gotta beat him like usual. Also, let me tell you, I hate this boss. Because, well, in this particular version anyway. Because having the extra people throws off the hitbox. Because he gets invincibility frames that you aren't prepared for. So let's move forward.
Yeah, which I think we've actually observed in some of the other bosses. And yeah.
In the last video too, in particular when we fought this boss the first time, where I had that bullshit death. But there he is, he's dead. And now it's time for the true ending.
Ooh.
Heads up, not much changes.
Yeah. And Tails apparently warped over there for some odd reason. And Amy.
Not much to say about this. Technically, we've seen most of this already.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I like this music, though.
Yeah, me too. I like it.
But here's the kicker. Now we're all in the super form. That's the change.
Yep.
So the question is it worth it to go after the Chaos Emeralds just for this? I mean, you get the super team to play as. Which is, of course, I mean, you're invincible. And all that. You're faster.
Yeah.
But is it... Yeah, but is it worth that frustration? But enough with the ending. You don't need to see the credits yet. Let's have some fun. It's time for some cheats. We're going to do a level select code. First, we go to 19 on the sound. Then 65. Then 9. And finally, 17. If you hear that chime, you did it right. Now, from here, if you actually press start above and start the game proper, well, you'll see what happens. But, unfortunately in this game, hold A and press start, and we got a level select. So a save feature is kind of pointless, because you can just go to any stage you want. Now, unfortunately, the other codes have been nullified. There's a debug code and a Chaos Emerald code. They've been nullified. The Chaos Emerald code will make sense because When you enter the level select code, you automatically have Supersonic.
Cool.
Which is unique for this game. And if you had started from there, you would have automatically had Supersonic if we started from the regular options. Now, the debug code has also been completely nullified. You can still enter the code and it'll still have the chime, but it won't actually work. Which sucks, because the debug code is fun to play with. But now it's time for our revenge. And also, because you get Supersonic right off the bat, they give you 100 rings as well, just so that you can use it. Because remember, normally you don't have rings when you start a level, so...
Friggin' annihilated him.
Yep. Fun fact about debug mode, in the original Sonic 2, if you had debug mode and you beat that boss, debug mode lets you turn into an object so you can place objects. If you turn into a ring, you won't automatically scroll out of there like you normally would. But if you go out a little bit and then come back in, you'll actually be able to fight the boss over again.
Wow.
With the exploding effect happening everywhere.
Dang.
So it's like super epic and shit.
So, like, what's the debug mode like? I don't know what that is.
You become invincible for one, but you also can turn into an object to place wherever you want in the stage. You can turn into rings, enemies. You can even turn into the capsule to release to release the animals and beat the level early. Stuff like that.
Cool.
Obviously, the best one is to turn into rings and just give yourself like a shit ton of rings right off the bat. But that is it though. That is everything there is to show in this game. So we get to see the ending one more time. And this time I'm actually going to show the credits.
Yeah.
This is the final video for this project. And I actually enjoyed recording this one. I will say, though, and this is some behind-the-scenes stuff, there was a little bit of trouble making it to this final video.
Oof, that's for sure.
Without going into details, because I don't feel like it. But, you know, it was a bit of a delay getting to this final part, but I think we did a pretty good job here. Travis, just thank you for supporting the Patreon and basically funding this project.
You're quite welcome.
I have updated the Patreon account, so now things are a lot different than they were. I have new things offered now, and some new just general rules as well. So I will have all that in the description. I've had the Patreon linked in the description of all of the videos. Travis, this was your project, basically. Just give us your thoughts.
I mean, overall, technical and internet-ish issues aside, I honestly liked it. I'm quite pleased with it. Like, it was nice to see how to beat these special stages, as well as how to see, you know, all those various cheats and a really cool ROM hack overall. And to see all this and hear all this good music again after so many years.
Yeah, the guy who made this ROM hack he goes by the username Flamewing, and he did a great job. If you like this ROM hack, definitely check out the full version, Sonic Classic Heroes, because that combines Sonic 1 and Sonic 2 into one game with this mechanic. And it's really good. I wish that he would have done this mechanic with Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
Oh, that would have been awesome.
Because that would have been amazing. And if I ever find out that he did that, I will definitely play that.
Oh, yeah?
Because that will be amazing. That said, again, I did have a lot of fun with this. Sonic 2 is my favorite Sonic game. It's also my favorite Sega Genesis game. So being able to play it with this kind of updated motif was really cool. I don't think that the Heroes team mechanic takes away from the level design at all. Yes, the game is a little glitchy, but, I mean, that's to be expected with ROM hacks, and even with the original game, for that matter.
I mean, true, Knuckles can, and Tails and especially Knuckles can kind of break some stages, but, yeah, I still think it's fun.
It's still fun.
Oh, yeah.
It's fun, though. Sometimes it's fun to be overpowered. But anyway, that, my friends, is the end of this project. It's finally done. And until next time, take care.